Imagine a country building so many solar panels and wind turbines that it changes the world's energy map. That's not science fiction, it's what's happening in China in 2025. This year, China has smashed records for building clean energy sources. It's like watching a world record sprint, but the runner is an entire nation racing toward a cleaner future. The scale is staggering, one of the most important stories in science and engineering today. China is installing more solar panels than the rest of the world combined, and its wind farms are growing at an incredible rate. This is about reinventing how a modern economy powers itself for the 21st century. Why does this matter? Because energy powers everything: our homes, schools, and industries. For years, fossil fuels polluted our atmosphere. Now China is changing that story. By adding so much clean energy, they're helping to bend the curve on global emissions. The choices and technologies built in China have a direct impact on the climate challenges we all face. So, let's dive in and explore this incredible story of ambition, innovation, and science in action. Let's get started. The numbers from China in 2025 are staggering. This year alone, China is on track to install 250 gigawatts of new solar power, more than the US has built in its entire history. Wind power is also booming, with 80 gigawatts of new capacity. Combined, that's over 330 gigawatts of new clean energy in a single year, more than the total electricity capacity of many developed nations. In 2025, China is installing more than double the amount of solar and wind power as the rest of the world combined. This pace has accelerated the global transition to renewables. The International Energy Agency keeps revising its forecasts upward because China keeps exceeding expectations. For the first time, renewables are set to generate over a third of China's total electricity. While coal remains significant, the balance is shifting faster than anyone predicted. This isn't just about adding capacity, it's about fundamentally changing the energy DNA of the world's second-largest economy. The clean electricity being pumped into the grid is starting to displace fossil fuels in a meaningful way. These numbers represent a physical transformation of the world's largest energy system. Why is China investing so heavily in solar and wind? It's a mix of smart strategic goals. First, energy security. China wants to reduce its reliance on imported oil and gas and control its own energy destiny. Second, public health. Years of coal pollution led to serious health problems and public discontent. Clean energy means cleaner air. Third, economic opportunity. China has become the world's leading producer of solar panels, wind turbines, and batteries, creating millions of jobs and a massive export industry. By dominating green tech, China turns a challenge into an economic advantage. Finally, climate change. As the world's largest emitter, China faces international pressure to act. Leading in renewables helps its global image and meets ambitious climate goals, peaking emissions before 2030 and achieving carbon neutrality by 2060. The solar and wind boom of 2025 is a direct result of these commitments. It's about turning long-term promises into real-world action. All the pieces point in one direction: more clean energy, fast. This is a national strategy with global consequences. China's green energy game plan is changing the world. This transformation is no accident. It's the result of powerful, long-term government planning. China sets ambitious national targets through its 5-year plans, mobilizing state-owned companies and private investors. Financial tools like subsidies, low-interest loans, and tax breaks have made renewables attractive and reduced risk for investors. The government has invested billions in ultra-high voltage power lines, electrical superhighways that move clean energy from remote deserts to cities. Central planning ensures new energy doesn't go to waste. Project approvals are streamlined, cutting through red tape and speeding up construction. Provincial officials are evaluated on meeting renewable targets, aligning local and national interests. This top-down approach creates urgency and direction that's hard to match elsewhere. The government's hand is not just guiding, it's pushing the accelerator. That's how China achieves such incredible speed in deploying clean energy. China's manufacturing power is a key driver of the renewable boom. Over 15 years, relentless investment in factories has created breathtaking economies of scale. Producing solar panels and wind turbines in huge quantities has slashed costs. Solar panel prices have dropped over 90% since 2010. Chinese companies control more than 80% of the global solar supply chain, constantly innovating and automating production. Wind turbine manufacturing has also surged, with China now building some of the world's largest and most powerful turbines. Fierce competition drives prices down, making clean energy affordable worldwide. This manufacturing dominance creates a feedback loop. Ambitious government targets guarantee a huge market, which lets factories scale up and cut costs further. Lower costs enable even more ambitious targets. It's a self-reinforcing cycle of growth. The synergy between policy and manufacturing is China's secret sauce. The country has become the world's clean energy supermarket. This industrial might fuels the global solar and wind revolution. China's factories are powering the planet's energy transition. Despite the progress, China faces major challenges. Coal still provides most of China's electricity, and new coal plants are still being built. This creates a paradox. China is both a green energy leader and the world's largest coal consumer. Another hurdle is curtailment. Sometimes solar and wind farms are forced to shut down because the grid can't handle all the power. Grid limitations and the need for stability mean clean energy is sometimes wasted. Oversupply is also a problem. Factories are producing more panels and turbines than the market can absorb, driving prices down and squeezing manufacturers. Thin profit margins could slow innovation and lead to factory closures. Integrating vast new energy sources into the grid is a complex challenge. Solar and wind are intermittent, so the grid needs to become smarter and more flexible. Massive investments in energy storage and advanced control systems are needed. Building the power plants is one thing. Building the smart grid to manage them is another. Compared to other countries, China's renewable progress is on another level. In 2025, China is installing more solar and wind than the rest of the world combined. The US and EU have ambitious goals, but their annual installations are just a fraction of China's. Complex permitting, grid backlogs, and political debates slow progress in the US and Europe. In China, centralized planning means massive projects can be completed in just a few years. Europe faces the challenge of coordinating 27 countries, each with its own rules and priorities. China operates as a single, unified entity, giving it a huge advantage in speed and efficiency. This isn't to criticize others. Every nation faces unique challenges. But China's state-led model has mobilized resources for an energy transition at a scale never seen before. It provides a powerful, if not always replicable, model for rapid change. For now, China is truly in a league of its own. The world is watching and learning. China's renewable surge sends ripples across the globe. As the world's largest carbon emitter, any reduction in China's fossil fuel use has a huge impact on the planet. The clean electricity generated in 2025 is helping slow global emissions and brings us closer to the Paris Agreement goals. China's mass production has made clean energy technology dramatically cheaper for everyone. Now, solar panels are affordable in places like Nigeria, Brazil, and Australia. This democratizes access to clean energy and accelerates the global transition. China's dominance in green tech also shifts global power dynamics. Control over renewables is the new energy currency. The US and Europe are racing to build their own manufacturing to reduce reliance on China. China's progress is both an inspiration and a blueprint, showing what's possible when a nation commits to a single goal. The tipping point, clean energy, is now the smartest economic choice for everyone, everywhere. In 2025, China is leading an energy revolution at a speed and scale the world has never seen. Driven by energy security, public health, economic opportunity, and climate leadership, China has transformed its energy system. Strong government guidance and manufacturing power have made clean energy cheap and abundant. This partnership between policy and industry is the engine of change. But challenges remain: coal dependence, grid modernization, and economic pressures on manufacturers. China's story is one of progress and ongoing struggle, a complex transition away from fossil fuels. Yet it proves rapid, large-scale change is possible. The world is being reshaped, and a new dawn for energy may be upon us. The question now, what can we all do to accelerate this change in our own communities and around the world?